Well, first off, appreciate you guys coming. I mean, this is a pretty good crowd in the snow, and I know the players are very excited to get the season rolling. Got a lot of new faces, and probably might see a little different style team as far as athletically. I think we're a little better athletically, offensively. I feel like we're going to be better. Time will tell. But I think more than anything, the guys are just excited to play somebody else. And, App State's an outstanding team. Very rarely do I have coaches call me and say, hey, what do you do in opening weekend this date? And that's what they did. They usually don't do that unless they feel pretty good about having an experienced team and returning pitching. And we're doing everything we can to get a good scouting report on them, and that's exactly what we're facing. I think we're going to face a Friday pitcher that won 9 games last year as a sophomore that's now a junior, that he actually beat Carlos Rodon, who's projected to be the #1 pick this year out of North Carolina State, to open the season. I think the score was 6-3, so that's pretty impressive. I think they have 7 hitters back from their lineup last year, and also have 2 or 3 older kids, a couple transfers. So they'll be a junior-senior team. So I'm kind of intrigued with it. It's going to be a very, very tough weekend, and I think we'll be able to gauge real quick where we're at and what we need to work on. So with that, ready to take some questions.
How are some of your walking wounded Wise and Spoon and some of them play or not?
Well, starting with Spoon. Spoon looks good. I think he's fine. Really had a good week of moving. The practice hadn't been great due to the weather as far as just getting out there and running around on a baseball field, but sprinting and moving left and right and hitting. Spoon's going to be 100% by next week. I really believe that. And then Wise is, he's had the arm surgery. Obviously, he's only like 7 months out, but his arm's in good shape. We have to take care of it. But when you try to run on him, he'll be able to throw. And now the issue is the surgeries, the hernia surgeries. He can run now. He just was able to start running with us in practice this past week, but not full speed. He's been doing all kinds of exercises and that type of stuff. But I guess to answer your question, he's not 100% yet running wise because of that. But will he be ready to play Friday? I think so.
What about Serrano? What was his injury?
Serrano's he's a little bit of everything. He's had some. I guess he kind of had a growing pull. He's had a little bit of an arm issue, so that we're just being real cautious with him. He looks like he's ready to go 100%. I think we're good there.
You go from preseason #1 last year and all those arms. What kind of adjustment has it been for you this season, learning all these new guys?
Bringing this sheet right here with everybody's name on it, so I don't forget anybody. I'm still learning some players that I know who's going to play. I know their names. That's probably the main thing. But we always kid the kids that if we call you by the wrong name, that's not good. But at least we kind of know you're on the team. But I tell you, this has been different. Preparing for this season compared to the last couple, due to the fact that we have such a young pitching staff, inexperienced pitching staff, except for a few guys. Really, the unknown is makes you a little bit nervous, but then again, at the same time, it's kind of exciting. I think we've got a lot to prove. Not picked to do a whole lot. I was surprised that Baseball America put us in their top 25, and we snuck in there somehow. But I think that within that locker room, the guys know that we have a chance to be good, and we could be real good. This is a close team, and this is a hard-working team now. They get after it. I mean, I was up here last night at 7 o'clock, and there were still 8 guys hanging out. A couple coaches were in there. Those kids didn't have to be there, working and bunting and hitting, and they're kind of gym rats, and those are the type of coaches or type of players that coaches like to be around because they're really into it. So that's an exciting part. Yeah, we'll have our good days and our bad, like every team. Our goal as a team is to get better as the season progresses, like every team. But I think with this team, I think we'll get better, but the competition gets better. So are we going to win? We'll see.
Have you been through the pictures, I guess, real quick?
We have 5 guys right now we're really looking to possibly start next weekend, and we're going to experiment for a couple of weeks. We got Jalen Beeks. I love him at the back of the game, but he's probably going to get an opportunity to start either one of the first 2 weekends. Trey Killian the same way, probably more of a guy that could start, and but he might not start both weekends. He might not start any of them. I don't know yet, but he's a guy. Chris Oliver's a guy that's got the big arm. Doesn't have a lot of experience starting at this level. I think you'll see him start a game or two here early. Got a couple of freshmen that have a chance to get in there. We have a freshman named Zach Jackson that we haven't talked about a whole lot. He could be special one day. Great work ethic, great kid, great student. I don't know if he's thrown too many pitches below 93 since he's been here, and that's in the fall after summer ball. That's in the spring or winter, when we get back. But he's got a ways to go, but he's got really good stuff. And then we've got Alex Phillips, who's a straight-up freshman that doesn't throw real hard, but he can really pitch. He throws 4 pitches for a strike. Reminds me of Charlie Boyce a little bit. He'll get you some quick innings, some 8-pitch innings. You're in the dugout, you're going bang. Yeah, all of a sudden it's the 3rd inning. And he's throwing his fastball 86, 87 max right now, but he's got a good changeup. Those are the guys that jump out at me, really right away, and I probably left somebody off. But, we'll mix it up for the first 6-9 games.
Poche, you didn't mention.
Yeah, Poche. Like I said, I probably forgot somebody. Poche is, his arm's been bothering him, but now he's back. We just have to get his arm in shape. He just had some arm soreness. We were real cautious with him. He threw a short bullpen yesterday, which means that, not a 60-foot, 6-inch bullpen. We shortened up the distance to like 50 feet. Threw great. Throwing the ball downhill, didn't have any pain. He's good to go. Now we have to build his arm strength up. You'll see him the first week, and you just won't see him start. He'll be on a pitch count. It might be 20, 30. So an inning, 2 innings. And maybe more towards the end of the weekend because we're trying to get him another bullpen in the middle of the week, and then maybe more towards Saturday, Sunday, you probably see him on the mound.
Did you ever see the difference in pulse rate with Jordan from one year to the next, and what would you think it's like?
Pulse rate?
He's a little more excited, or
I think it's like anything. We knew what we had last year on the mound. Our issues were offensively. Were we going to be able to score enough runs? And the answer was no at the end of the season. So, his pull speed's about the same all the time. What you see is what you get with Dave. He's going to shoot you straight. He's going to tell you what you got to work on, and if you're ready to pitch at this level. I feel I'm kind of the same way. I may be the one that's a little more up and down, just trying to motivate people and get after them. But he's, I think he's a little antsy to get this thing going. And it's like anything. I think human nature, you want to prove people wrong, and that we're going to be better than projected. For the last 5 years, we've been ranked pretty good early, and it's not that way this year. And I don't think it's because, we've slipped. I think it's just because of the draft and what's kind of gone on to us, and keeping a kid here and there you didn't think you were going to keep after their junior year, and so you give them their scholarship back, and it keeps you from getting a young guy in your program. And it's just the way it goes, last year might have been our shot to win a national championship, and we didn't win it. So this year, we still have a shot. It's a long shot, but we don't talk about that. We just talk about getting better and showing up every day and try to win the day and the inning, when we're playing. So, we're all full of cliches, coaches, You probably get sick of them, but it keeps those kids motivated and gives them, some type of vision, and keeps them thinking about today instead of, when we go to Baton Rouge or when we go to California or we go to Mississippi State, all these high-ranked places and teams we need to worry about next weekend.
How similar is this situation? Do you see the same potential back when Aston and Stanek and Brandon Moore and those guys had to pitch so much?
Yeah, that was a year that we thought we'd have a pretty good team, but we were real concerned about the young guys on the mound and, problems. Things getting out of hand quick during the game, whether it's the experience of holding runners on or getting out of a jam. And so what we did that year, we got them in there and we got them out of there. And we had that bullpen was rolling the whole time. Guys were throwing. We had 2 guys on the mound. There was just a lot of action not because we didn't have confidence in them. We just didn't want to blow their mind if it didn't go well. We needed those guys, and I see this staff being a little bit like that, where we will go with some guys that are inexperienced, but we're not going to leave them out there too long.
How's Tony settling in as hitting coach, and has he done about what you expected? Have there been some surprises?
I think he's probably done a better job than I expected right out of the chute. First off, he's always up here and working with guys if they want to stay late or come back. He's put in a great effort, and he meets with them all the time. I'm involved. Sometimes I try to stay out of the meetings because I don't want him to feel like I'm, critiquing him too much right now, and let him have it. But the feedback from the players has been that there's a lot of energy, which is always good. Philosophy's probably changed a little bit, and in a good way as far as the way the game is played these days in college baseball. I think I read something with the way the bats are and using the softball. I think you wrote it. It's pretty good. It's kind of the way it is, because we're not using the rock baseball that they use in the big leagues or the minor leagues. And the bats aren't too bad, to be honest with you. It's that the ball's the issue. If we used the big league ball, we'd be fine, because it's a little golf ball is what it is, and or a big golf ball. But you don't hit as many home runs, so you gotta find a way to get on base, get hit by pitches, take more pitches, take a walk, and we've really emphasized that, and just staying through the middle of the field, hitting line drives. We can talk about it and coach them and preach at them, do whatever. They got to do it, And there's some guys' swings are not fit for that, and you get a kid that's 18, 19. You can change them a little bit, but you can't change them too much, or you're better off. They're not going to make it in your program. So there's been some adjustments, but we do have some good swings on this team. Anderson's got a great swing, and Spoon, and Fisher's got a pretty good swing if he'll stay over the ball. But Tony's done a great job, worked hard, and, I've tried to help him understand what he's getting into with fans and media and everything else because of the offensive struggle for a couple of years, and that, he needs to be thick-skinned and just coach, just work, and that's what the players need to do. And I think they've done a good job.
Do you think this new mentality of something to prove, like you said, could be beneficial compared to what the thought process was last year?
Yeah, obviously, I would like to have a few of those pitchers back. That'd be great, because if we had two of them back, we might be ranked in the top 5. Because I do think we're better offensively and defensively than last year, but we don't have that pitching depth or experience. I just think that this year's team is relaxed and excited to go prove something. Last year's team was probably on edge, no matter how loose I tried to make them, or I tried to be loose last year. I probably changed my personality a little bit around that team, just trying to get them to think, hey, coach isn't uptight. He's not, he's not getting after us as much as he normally does, or trying to, motivate us, or just, I tried to leave them alone a little bit because they were older. And I think it worked a little bit, but at the same time, I think they were nervous. We had great pitching and below average defense for the SEC, in my opinion, as far as in the infield, and we didn't score enough runs, and it got worse because then all they did was worry about it and read about it and think about it and hear about it. And this year's team, they don't have that pressure. Now, in the locker room, the expectation's there, but the pressure's not there.
Is the plan still to play Brian second base?
Yeah.
How well has he?
It's been great there, honestly. Last year, as you know, his issues were throwing. He'd field the ball, and it would come out of his arm, come out of his hand, and it was scattered a little bit from the left side. He has a tremendous arm. He's gotten a little better feel at second. He's going to throw a ball away here and there. Everybody does, but he doesn't. I don't see him thinking about it or worrying about it. You can tell when a guy feels the ball and he puts it in his hand, been doing it a while, and there's just a little hesitation or look in his eye, is this going to be okay? And I don't see that in him. I think he's fine there. And, with his offensive skills and putting him at that position, I think it's really helped him on an individual basis, maybe getting some preseason honors, All-American, because you know, if you're playing third, you got to hit a bunch of home runs probably, and you know, our park's not built for that. And but at second base, you're an athlete, and you can hit and hit for an average. And he has power. He can hit as far as anybody on our team, farther. He can hit farther than anybody if he wants to, because he just has bat speed and leverage like not too many guys that weigh 180 pounds. But it's going to help him professionally. So I think he knows that and appreciates that. I try to do the same thing for Ficcicello. Brian has a big upside, and he can play a long time at that position because he's good there.
How come you guys decided to move him to second? Whose idea was
It was mine. I mean, I guess. Yeah. Just felt like that we needed him in the infield. I got enough outfielders. I need him to play infield so I can get another hitter in the outfield. And McAfee's really improved. He's going to be our shortstop. Yeah, I could have played him at third. But then at third, you know, it's still on the left side of the infield. I was trying to take it out of his hands on how far, or getting him off that side to get him on that side. I got some guys who can play third.
You mentioned Garrett Rucker in some previous press conferences. Is he still figuring into the picture?
Yeah, I mean, he's in the mix. We really have, you know, 5 outfielders that are going to, you know, trying to battle for those positions. I think, you know, Serrano's, he's really gotten better with that bat. You know, and he's an average outfielder. We got a freshman in center and Spoon in right. We got another freshman, Clark Egan, that honestly he should probably be starting. If you go on what's going on in fall ball and at the end of and then early this winter, he's hit the ball extremely well in our scrimmages. He can play first, he can play outfield, and we're actually working him out at third base a little bit. And he's never played third base before. So if you see him out there and he's not real pretty, it's because we're trying to get his bat in the lineup. He's a good base runner. He's athletic. Hits left-handed. He's going to play for us this year a lot, and probably every day next year. He may play every day this year, but we're just experimenting. But he's a guy that Rucker kind of has to compete with to get in the outfield. Besides those two, besides the 3 starters right now, Garrett's still on the outside trying to get in that lineup.
How do you prepare for what you guys have been through the last 3? I assume that it's been tough to get outside.
Yeah. Well, last time we were on the field was it Saturday or was it Monday? Monday, we were supposed to get 2 inches of snow on Super Bowl Sunday. So we practiced Saturday on the field, had a decent practice with the weather. Gave them the day off Sunday, but we put the tarp on thinking we were getting 2 inches max. Well, we got 6. So we spent all day Monday getting the snow, or was it Tuesday? I can't get it straight. We spent all day one day getting the snow off the tarp, and we peeled it off and we scrimmaged with no outfielders. We had pitchers throw live it was cold. We went for 2 hours and we put the tarp back on, and then, you know, we've had what we've had. So we won't be on the field today. We're going to get on that field tomorrow. We're going to peel that tarp off at 10 a.m. And it's supposed to be 29 and sunny at 10 a.m. It's supposed to be 32 at 11. So we'll see. Either way, we'll be out there. And then we have to go to the mall at 4. And so we've got to scramble. I would play a little bit later, but we got to go to the mall.
How about practicing in the mall?
I'd practice in the mall if there was a high ceiling somewhere. I'd be fine with that. So
Once the new baseball's here next year, is it all done? Is it good? Do you feel like at that point
the new baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game will be where it needs to be.
No. I think that's going to be the same ball with flat seams. We need to use the flat seam balls a little harder. I just don't want any fans running off because the games are getting boring. And I love bunting and defense and offense, or and you know, small ball, I guess. But I don't want people leaving in the 7th inning when you're down 3 runs because they think you can't hit a 3-run homer anymore. You know, and so that's a little bit of my fear for the future of the game. I think it's so popular right now, and the stadiums are beautiful. They're building, and teams are getting, I guess, they just seem to be getting more. It's even now. There's, you know, they put a limit of scholarships, obviously, but there's a limit on a roster, and there's a limit on counters, and kids are going to mid-majors. And, you know, it used to be that the Miamis of the world would get all the good players. And there's kids that were real good that could play at other programs that weren't ever playing. And you don't see that anymore. So I think I would like to see the ball go to a little bit tighter yarn. We could go all into the details there, but I think that would help. I think one thing for us that's we're really excited about is that building going up right there, and you know, we won't lose any time, which would be great.
Anderson obviously had a big year last year. How do you expect him to be a better hitter? How can he be better than
Well,
last year?
he'll be a better hitter because he's older, and he's been. It's just experience. I think that, you know, in baseball, like most anything, the experience it helps you. I think the only way that he wouldn't have a good year is if he's hurt. You know, you got a problem with a hand or a knee or something's bothering him. If he's healthy, he'll have a great year because he's a good player. Confidence, and he's stronger. He may only be 5 or 6 pounds heavier than last year, but he's a lot stronger.
Is Baxendale healthy again, or is he still?
Yeah, I mean he had surgery 17, 18 months ago. You're talking about all the little he had a car wreck, he had a scooter wreck. I mean, yeah, he needs to be dropped off by his mom every day at the locker room, I think. But yeah, he got knocked off a scooter right out here and had a wreck over there after lunch with DJ in the car, his brother, and he's healthy. He's healthy. There's no excuse there. He's ready to go.
So you were going to do for McAfee.
Same thing, experience, confidence. He was a nervous wreck last year at the beginning of the year. You know, plays injury his senior year in high school, had Tommy John surgery, didn't really play, didn't get to play summer ball, went to Panola Junior College, still fighting the arm, bothering him, and then he had hamstring problems. He comes in here. He hadn't played a lot of baseball. And then all of a sudden you throw him into Division I baseball. He was nervous. I mean, you know, field a couple balls here and there. We win some games in Arizona. It doesn't happen. We put him on the bench for about 10 days, and he didn't pout. All he did was work and work harder than he ever had. Came back and he played good the rest of the year for the most part. I think, you know, from what I've seen, he's just a lot better player. His arm's healthier and his legs are healthier. I feel like that, again, just him being around the game and being in our locker room and being through the experiences of our league and regionals and everything else made him a better player.
Can you see Baxendale getting some serious time this year?
What is serious time? I see him pushing Jake Wise. Jake Wise is one of the best catch and throw catchers in the country by far. He's really good. Blake, you know, Blake isn't there yet because he's not as experienced. He's been hurt. He's a different type of catcher. It's like I told Blake yesterday when I met with Blake yesterday. I want you to hit, but it's not the most important thing to me. I need you to catch and throw and block. And Jake does all that. If Jake hits, it's a plus. I think that he will get to play early and prove what he can do here and there because Jake's going to need to rest. If Jake's healthy, Jake's going to will be beating on my door if he's not playing every day. But there is competition there. And, you know, I think it's healthy competition.
How's that been intended doing? Because did he have a hand or something?
He had broke a little bone in his right hand, and he had that surgically repaired late December. It bothered him when he first got back. I've seen him swing the bat. He hasn't swung the bat as good as he did in the fall, and I think that's probably a good thing, to be honest with you. Yeah, but the last week, just in the cages, we haven't been outside much. He swung the bat real well. I could see the bat speed coming back and the fear of swinging because the injury was an injury you get from swinging a bat. And they removed that little bone out of there, and it's fine. He'll be fine. He's good.
How's tackling the
Got great stuff. Moves all over. When he throws it in the zone, he can be a guy that could be dominant, but he's a freshman, and he's one of those guys you'll see. Like, it's hard to explain him. If he throws strike one, you're in trouble because then you got to get out there and swing at it now. And if he gets ahead of you at 2 strikes, he's gonna get you out. But he's a little wild, not to the point where he's gonna hit you. He's just out of the zone, which you got to get ahead of hitters with that, and then you can carve them up. Most of his issues to us is mental stuff. He needs to get relaxed on the field and just play the game. Slow down a little bit. Take your bullpens from off the field to the diamond. same mechanics. Don't overstride. I mean, I could talk to you about it for 10 minutes, and so could Coach Jordan, but a lot of potential, but potential don't win you too many games. So, but he's going to help us. He's got to help us.
We got time for a couple more guys.
Killian, second pitch coming.
Yeah, I mean, if he repeats his mechanics and he gets on top of that slider, it's a good pitch. Sometimes he gets on the side and it's side to side, and those sliders that don't move much, they seem to go a long way when you hit them. It's just the way it works. But he can really spot up that fastball, and he can live on that fastball for a while. But he's, that breaking pitch is, if he gets that going, it'll be real good.
Landon Simpson, where does he fit?
We like Landon in the middle of the game. Landon's a guy. Landon can throw 90, 91, 92. When he does that, the ball flattens out a little bit. We like Landon to pitch 87, 89, and it has some serious sink. He can come in and get you a ground ball. He can mow through some hitters. Landon's a lot better pitcher than he was last year, and he's made major strides since he got here, to the point where I have no problem putting him in when the game's on the line.
All right. Coach, you talked about the weather a little bit, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but how much has that hampered development so far this spring?
I mean, obviously, it slowed us down a little bit as far as just playing the game of baseball the way it's supposed to be played, and that's on dirt, and or outside, I think. And but we try not to talk about it a whole lot, and it's been a bad winter. I mean, you're a Wisconsinite, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, it's brutal up there all the time. But anyway, that's another story. It's something that as a team we almost make a joke out of it. Hey, we're gonna get through it, and we're not gonna complain about it. And I think I probably talk more about it than they do. And I'm just trying to make sure the new guys don't think this is normal, because I don't want them going off next year to some JC in the South. So, but it's been rough. But honestly, I feel like we got in some really good work the first 10 days. And then after that, it's been a battle. And it's almost like when we got on the field, I saw a great attitude because they appreciated being out there. And a lot of times it's different. After you practice 2 or 3 weeks, you got good weather and games coming up, it's fading. I see it the other way, man. These guys are bouncing around. They don't care how cold it is. I noticed it that way a lot when I coached at Nebraska. When we got outside, coaches aren't moving around. We're getting really cold, and these guys are acting like it's 70 degrees, and you like that attitude. And that's what I've seen, a great attitude.